Hello and welcome to another episode of the E-commerce Coffee Break. Today we want to find out how you can grow a direct-to-customer brand, a DTC brand, substantially in 2023. 2023 has his own challenges, as we all know, and it becomes more and more important to do the right things in the right moment. And we want to dive a little bit more in the topic of email marketing, SMS marketing, building a customer engagement that keeps people engaged with your brand. Therefore, the guest on the show today is Rohit. Rohit is the co-founder of Moda at getmoda.io. He is a creative technologist with 15 years of experience in developing web and mobile applications for enterprises and consumers. More recently, he has been building data projects for brands and enterprises that fuel growth to their business. His passion is using design, technology, and data to create solutions to solve problems in a mobile-first and data-driven world. So let's welcome Rohit to the show. Hi, Rohit. How are you today?
Hi, Klaus. Thank you for having me.
Rohit, retention is a very important topic this year, but why is it so important? Maybe let's start there.
Yeah, I think everyone in the e-commerce space has seen rising customer acquisition costs, right? Everything from when you run your brand or you sell your products on Amazon, or whether you use Facebook to advertise, everything is rising. And essentially that is eating into their profits as a direct-to-consumer brand. And so a lot of other things as well, like technology changes, have driven this constantly moving goalpost. And so brands are stuck constantly having to hand over their fees to marketplaces and advertising platforms, not to mention having to pay for their own logistics and countless other costs. And so having the D2C model in this particular state is not sustainable, right? And so it is our thought that having a very strong retention strategy is the way to counter this. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Getmoda obviously is helping with that. And retention strategies, as I said, are important. How can direct-to-customer brands get into this topic and start basically adopting different strategies that increase customer lifetime value, average order value, and all these things?
So essentially you have to have a very sound strategy, right? It's very difficult to execute this right. You have to have the knowledge and a great foundation to start this retention strategy. But essentially it all starts with data across the spectrum, right? Retention is all about the brand having control over their own channels, as well as then having control over their own data and their own audience. Along with that, also having control over their own customer experience, right? And so having this control also gives you the power to execute it however you want to execute it, right? So some of the core strategies that brands adopt across marketing and customer experience, right? So when it comes to marketing, being able to deploy omni-channel or multi-channel communication, such as email, SMS, orchestrating that with your ad channels like social media and all of that, really is able to reach the right customer at the right time and place, as well as then to continuously keep them engaged with your brand, right? And these messages or these communications have to come with high levels of personalization. And personalization comes with data. So the more data you have, the better personalization you can offer, right? And so that will make the customer feel more valued and increase their loyalty to your brand, and also end up spending more, and then you get a higher LTV doing that, right? And that's the whole objective of building a retention strategy, is to increase your profits over a period of time. Some other approaches, of course, is around perhaps setting up a loyalty program to essentially drive or incentivize repeat purchases. Building very engaging content as well is a big play nowadays. As you know, everyone is into short form video, and influencers driving sales as well. And so having that content in a huge amount helps with that, right? And finally, I think the most important thing that I preach to everyone even within our company is the customer experience, right? That's the most important thing ever. Continuously being able to seek feedback and constantly helping them as fast as possible whenever they have an issue. It'll always keep them happy and loyal to your brand. Yeah.
Okay, I think you touched on a couple of very important pillars for every business owner there. So first of all, don't build your house on someone else's land. I think most of the
Yes.
marketeers by now have had some experience in the last years of losing data, of losing social media accounts, of losing ad accounts and all of that. And with that, the
Absolutely.
data was gone or was difficult to recover. So
Mhm.
building your own data, your own data, very important there. Another point, as you said, is content creation and customer service. Now, this goes
Mhm.
also sort of hand in hand when we talk about personalization and the one tool, and I'm a big fan of it for ever, is SMS and email marketing. Email marketing, very
Yes.
important. I don't know how many times people said email marketing is dead, but it's not. We want to dive a little bit more in email and SMS personalization. Give me an overview of why it is so important to keep this email and this SMS customer data in your own hands.
Yeah, so I think being able to reach customers using your own channels, which are essentially channels under your control, right? Everything from your website to your email to SMS and perhaps WhatsApp in some countries and all of that, is the power to speak to them, right, in your own voice. And so having that channel is actually, when they say email is dead, is completely untrue. It's still driving. It's still one of the largest channels in the world, and it's driving most amount of sales for email ever, right? And not to mention your return on investment is definitely at its optimal when it comes to email. But this has to come with a lot of automation, right? The ability to reach them with the channel of their choice at scale, right? You may have a few 100,000 customers, for example, in your brand, and being able to reach them in automated fashion is what's critical, right? And so the personalization of this comes through setting up automations. And essentially what I always say is we have to do certain must-have automations, right? You have to set up these email automations, which are essentially what I call the big four. The first one being your welcome series, right? Which is when your first touch point with your a new subscriber, the ability to introduce them to your brand and your story, and set expectations up front, and encourage them to make that first purchase, I think is the first touch point that is extremely important. And then you should also have abandonment series, right? So during a shopping experience, a customer essentially goes through various sets of abandonments, right? Whether they browsed the product and they abandoned it, or they added something to the cart and they abandoned it, or maybe they even went right up to checkout and they abandoned it. And so just with abandonment emails, you can recover a huge amount of sales, lost sales, right? And so having that automation in place helps them, remind them that they have were previously interested in something, but they didn't complete that final action, right? Um, the next series I would that I find one of the most important is that next purchase, which is the repeat purchase series, which is what we call the post-purchase series, which is where we can actually thank a customer for making their first purchase and then recommend more products to them, right? So this is where the data comes into play as well, to be able to drive repeat purchases with recommendations. And so, yeah, so the post-purchase series is one of the most important ones. And finally, the win-back or the re-engagement series, which is an automation that is designed to re-engage lost or inactive customers and encourage them to come back to your brand and make a purchase again, right? Yeah.
Okay. What I experience with a lot of coaching clients is that they are too shy to send emails. So not often enough. That's the main problem that I see. They say, yeah, we're sending a newsletter a month, or we're sending one abandoned cart email. So from your experience working with a lot of merchants out there, not sure if
Yeah.
you can relate to that, but what would you say, how often should you send out for these different frequencies that you just mentioned? How often and how many emails should you send out?
So from a campaign perspective, so I look at campaigns being one of the main channels to drive sales. So anything between 4 to 10 campaigns a month, depending on how engaged the user is with your brand, can actually help, right? And then finally, when it comes to automations, obviously it's based on the user's behavior. But in essence, the ability to reach them at least 4 to 10 times a month is critical, right? So yeah.
Okay. Now, when it comes to creating content, and you touched on that briefly, another issue that I see quite often, people struggle to create content. Now, I understand at Moda, you help with that. There's a library. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So I think along with email marketing, brands get stuck with the creative side of things, right? It's not just about sending the email to a specific segment of users, it's about getting the message through effectively. And so that comes with a whole bunch of things like making it visually appealing, as well as then having the right language, and so on and so forth, and presenting the product in a nice way. And so a lot of brands struggle with this because they are very much into running their business, but they're not designers, for example, right? So we at Moda, we offer thousands of templates that you can use within your campaigns. And of course, you can personalize this to be, with your brand and essentially with your own brand language. And to help with that, we have also integrated AI capabilities, right? Which essentially, I'm sure everyone is familiar with ChatGPT's type of solutions. And essentially, you can generate email copy or email headers, call to actions using our platform. Not to mention, you can also generate graphics, right? So a combination of graphics and text copy, essentially powered by AI, makes it a lot faster. And not to mention, it's templatized, so it's already pre-designed with the right layouts. For example, product recommendations block, or abandoned cart block, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Okay. Now we have already heard a little bit what you do at Moda. Give me an overview. You're an engagement and grow automation platform for e-commerce brands.
Yeah.
Growth automation, what exactly can potential customers of yours expect when they get into your system? What sort of...
Yeah, so unlike a traditional email service provider, who is essentially built a product around sending emails, Moda was built on the foundation of data, right? So being a data platform, which is our background as me as an entrepreneur and a product designer, essentially we build data platforms for very large brands. And so Moda is actually built on top of that knowledge, and essentially it's a customer data platform and its underlying technology, which means that it can collect data in real time. It can unify this so that brands can analyze and operationalize their data in an effective way. And so that is what you get as with a growth platform. And the reason why we call it a growth platform is also because it's meant to collect all data, right? So everything from your advertising data to your email data to your customer data, how much you spent, what they clicked on, to your store data. And so it comes in the form of integrating all of the data into a single location, right? So that's where that's the power of a customer data platform. And then another big pillar of a growth platform is the fact that it's automated, right? So it's automation for everything, where we want to help the brands do less, right? When it comes to marketing and customer experience, because they have enough on their plate to do on a day-to-day basis. And so automating everything with templates is actually another piece of that growth strategy. And so we call it growth templates, essentially. And then finally, we are offering AI for content generation as well as for automations, right? And so the data that you've initially you're collected, and then all the automations that you're running is improved with AI, right? So everything from delivering AI-based content, along with understanding, getting better insights through AI, recommendations, personalizations, all of that is powered by AI as well. So that's how we see growth platforms transforming the way brands engage with customers. Yeah.
Okay. Give me an example how a e-commerce marketer would create or basically plan his day on working with your platform. What would be typical tasks that he would do?
Yeah, so a typical e-commerce marketer would have a whole stack, right? So if you're on Shopify, you would have, the store, of course, with all your product data. And then you would have your reviews apps integrated. You would have your shipping app integrated, and so on and so forth, right? And so a e-commerce marketer would first integrate all of their platform data, all of their stacks data, using our no-code integration. And essentially, that would then end up building customer profiles, which they can then segment, right? So segmentation, as you know, customer segmentation is a very important part of delivering any marketing experiences, right? And so once they build their segments, and then they can start setting up their campaigns. So it's events-based one-off broadcast campaigns. So they would pick a calendar of various promotional activities and product announcements they want to do, and they can deploy that and schedule them ahead of time. And of course, these campaigns would be built off our templates, and you can use AI to generate a subject line. You can use AI to generate the SMS message, and so on and so forth. And then finally, you can also set up your automations, right? So automations being the ability to deliver all these automated messages, for example, what I just mentioned earlier around abandonments and around win-back campaigns and all of that, and also other things like shipping notifications and stuff like that as well. So a lot of transactional based interactions as well that would increase or improve your customer experience. And then finally, it all ties back into the final pillar, which is the analytics piece, right? So once you've done all of that marketing activity across all channels, which is paid and email and SMS and all of that, you want to bring all of the performance data back into a single place so that you have a single view to make your decisions on what you want to do next when it comes to marketing, right? And knowing what works versus what's not working is probably the most important thing when it comes to growth. And to be able to do that, you need a data platform that can measure everything accurately. And so that is essentially what a marketer can expect when they sign up to our platform. Yeah.
Okay. Who's your perfect customer or your normal customer? Which kind of size, which kinds of industry vertical are they in?
So any direct-to-consumer brand that is predominantly selling on their own website on Shopify. We are on Shopify currently. We're also launching several other e-commerce platforms soon. But essentially, our ideal customer is anyone who has got perhaps from 1,000 customers or subscribers right up to 100,000 subscribers, right? Even more is possible as well, up to 1 million also is possible. But of course, that's our ideal customer profile. And also brands that are who sell repeat purchases, right? So not so much like perhaps furniture stores. We're looking more towards folks who have a higher frequency of purchases, such as food and beverages brands, right? Personal care brands, and so on, right? So anyone who has, the ability to sell at least once a month, perhaps, to the customer, is a good brand for us. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. Is there any kind of homework that a merchant has to do before they approach you?
Not really. We've designed the platform to be completely no code. So that means there's no technical requirements. You don't need to. You can just be a founder or a marketer who wants to start doing some more advanced stuff, and so they can just approach us and sign up, and we can get you started immediately. Yeah.
Okay. Before I ask you about the pricing, I want to go back to artificial intelligence. Our listeners by now know that I'm a big fan of artificial intelligence, whatever comes out there. What's your prediction for this year? How will artificial intelligence make the life of marketers easier, or just also takes jobs away? What's your prediction?
Oh, I think it's going to revolutionize the next phase of technology, right? We've had some very important, technology advancements in the past, and like mobile devices and internet and stuff like that. But this is definitely going to be a huge jump forward for everyone. When it comes to taking jobs away, I don't know about that yet. It's still too early to call that. But essentially, I see a lot of marketers, improving their workflows with AI at the moment, right? And being able to write more effectively, and also being able to churn out campaigns more effectively and stuff like that. So yeah, so definitely moving at breakneck speed. As you know, it's only been like few months since a lot of the hype has started. But yeah, it's definitely going to transform the way the world works, in a big way.
Yeah, I like that you're already ahead of the curve and have already integrated into your Moda system. So that's great. Tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about the pricing. What can people expect there?
So yeah, so it's a pretty straightforward, very affordable pricing when it comes to Moda. We have a free tier that starts from up to 250 contacts. So if you have, a small store that just started, and you just started running ads, and you have a few hundred customers, that it's essentially free. And then it starts from $15 per month for up to 1,000 contacts, and that you can expect that to grow. For example, if you have 20,000 contacts, that goes up to just over $100 per month, and so on. Yeah. So it's all contact based. And one good thing about Moda is we offer unlimited emails for all plans. And so SMS is an add-on that you can buy, and we have more channels coming soon as well.
Okay, no, you can send unlimited emails. That is definitely a benefit there. A lot of other providers, you reach a level then and then it becomes more expensive. So well done on that one. Where can people find out more about Moda?
So you can visit www.getmoda.io. So that is getmoda.io. And so yeah, our website is live, and you can essentially sign up there and get started. Yeah.
Cool. I will put the links in the show notes as always, then you're just one click away. Rohit, thanks so much for giving us an overview. And I think 2023 will be a great year for e-commerce, specifically with AI coming up, and then working on the traditional email and SMS marketing channels that will just help growing every business. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Klaus. Nice talking to you. All the best.
Hey, Klaus here. Before you go, I would like to invite you to become part of the e-commerce merchant pro community to get actionable advice from other Shopify merchants who already have achieved what you are aiming for. Our community is a safe place to actively grow your online retail business with the support of the most amazing and helpful group of e-commerce entrepreneurs behind you. Running a Shopify business is tough. Don't do it alone. Join us now. You will find the link in the show notes. Also, if you think your online store has conversion or marketing issues and you would like to have a fresh set of eyes on your business, then drop me an email at klaus@klauslauter.com and let me know a little bit about your business. It might be beneficial for you to have me look over your store, offers, emails, and ads, and get an unbiased outside perspective and guidance to help you make most of your online business. Thank you as always for tuning in today. I appreciate you. Until next time, and I talk to you soon.